My name is Stephanie Rollins. I am a graduate student at Latorno University. This is a counseling video for practice purposes and learning purposes only. And Caesar is my volunteer for today. Again, this is not a real counseling video. It is for learning purposes only. Well, thanks for coming, Caesar, and thank you for being my volunteer. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to help.
Now, today, we had briefly touched on some relationship issues with your family.
Okay, yes.
And I think we touched on some issues of communication, and so I thought we'd revisit that
Okay.
today. Tell me a little bit about that living relationship. It had almost sounded like you have a lot of issues roommates might even come across.
Okay. Well, my family, I live with them, and they work nights, so I pretty much have the house all to myself all day. It should be peaceful. It normally is peaceful, but as of lately, there has been quite a bit of drama about these dishes. So much drama, honestly, we had to go to a therapist. And this therapist really didn't therapy us, but acted as mediator.
So dishes and
Go ahead and ask a little bit more.
so dishes.
Dishes, yeah.
Dishes. So to me that's just one point of, so I guess everyone pitching in.
Yes, that would definitely be my perspective. From their perspective, they're kind of feeling taken advantage of, is what they're saying. But since that, I'm trying to think. Since that, it calmed down quite a bit when we decided that they would do the chores in their room, the vacuuming and the cat poop, and I would do my dishes. And it sounds like we all should be happy because that's what the therapists agreed on. We all agreed on. But there's some drama starting, which is very annoying, honestly.
That would beg the question of, are you all not sticking to the agreement you had when the therapist was present?
Oh no, we're sticking to the agreement, but we all have annoyances and about how frequent things need to be done. So we kind of got into a tiff about that. I personally am thinking they do the dishes once a week. I can do my dishes every 2 days, and let me tell you, that takes like 3 minutes, easy, done. Much easier than having to clean up their living room, turning on the robot, and doing their cat box. So I kind of came out and win in that. But they don't do the living room daily like I did, and so me and my mother got into this discussion, this text message discussion. Oh my gosh, where I pretty much said, "Hey, you're asking me to do what you won't do, and you're not even doing what I did like I did it." And she ended up coming back and saying some rude shit. Honestly, she was like, I can see why your other places were a mess and your girlfriends were sick of cleaning up after you. Which, I'll be truthful, my homes have always been cleaner than her homes. The living room is so messy. I tell people when I bring them in, don't judge me by their space. But yeah, when I brought number 2 over, my second wife, to meet her, there wasn't even enough room on the couch. There was just junk on the couch. So they're, I don't know, they like to blame me for mess, and I think this is really Paul's, honestly, it's Paul's new excuse, because the dishes, we switched, I started doing my dishes, everything was fine, and then today, he's upset that there was like 2 cups in the sink, and it's like, 2 cups, let me, calm down, it's, quit freaking out, Jesus. So
How often do you all see each other with your different work schedules and things?
Honestly,
Do you not?
honestly, only maybe an hour and a half combined all day.
And so that hour, that's what the communication is?
Yeah, that's what we had communication like. Oof.
Um, have you thought of, well, what have you done already? Have you attempted to problem solve some of these issues? What have you already attempted?
Well, I started doing my dishes. I thought that would solve the problem, like the mediator said.
Okay,
Logical.
logical.
Yeah. But no, like I said, Paul's trying to get me out of his house, so he's thinking of something else to complain about. I did end up doing the dishes today, but I did them on my time. And I'll be real, again, it took me like 3 minutes, so it wasn't that many dishes. I had, actually, to bring in another party, my father, I think I've told you how much I dislike this man. And I quit talking to him in August. He reached out to me when I was in the hospital. I spoke with him. I hate asking him for help, but I asked him for some help. Because this situation is just too much.
But you were communicating with him?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna meet with him tomorrow. I told him what happened, and he was like, "Yeah, you sound like you didn't get out." And I was like, "Well, with this car payment I just got, I can't live off that. It's just not really affordable." And he said he talked about helping me out. He talked about me getting a job, and he was just wanting to meet tomorrow. So hopefully, because they were talking about paying to give me a roommate. So I mean, I'm hoping I can convince everybody to help in that situation, so I can afford to live and eat and everybody have peace.
So it sounds like some options are going to be laid out, possible options.
Hopefully. Ooh.
In the meantime, Cesar.
Yes.
The reducing how your family and you all communicate, the blaming, the placating, the criticizing, and you're not around each other that much, so your opportunities to communicate are limited as it is. Overall, no one wants to feel taken for granted or unappreciated.
Yes.
And baby steps might be, and since I believe you told me your mom is always on her phone, and so it's hard to communicate, and I think we touched on how about, even though that's not the optimal way, but texting that I appreciate, or I appreciate you, some type, have a good day, thank you for all you do. And that may even be an easier way to throw that change card in the loop rather than face to face, and you don't have much FaceTime even under the same roof.
Yeah.
That may be a back door in of that, throwing that change card on the table, changing up your normal way of doing something, or the pattern that you have of doing something. Just something maybe that simple can start softening the hardness and the feelings. So just, and it takes less than the 3-minute dishes.
Yes.
But that, because once communication gets to just blaming or criticizing, then we want to defend, and it's like being on that gerbil wheel. It's until we get off that cycle, we can't move forward. That gerbil's never going to move forward.
I hate to say, I feel like their self-image of me, or their image of me in their head is not a image you would want. And I think I really have to work on changing that to make this peaceful, because until, if you feel like someone's taking advantage of you, or someone's making a mess and they're difficult, and they're, honestly, I brought it up, she pretty much was bitching about how, I'm such a burden, and then I was like, I'm sorry I'm such a burden, and she's like, you're not a burden. And she turns around and starts complaining again about how I'm doing this. It's just stressful.
Well, now you don't know the picture they have in their head of
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
their perspective. You have an
I've heard
idea.
what they say though.
You have an idea, and the fact that your mom immediately said, no, you're not a burden. They have frustrations, and they don't necessarily know how to make that first move or that first change.
Mm-hmm.
And you seem very self-aware and aware of the situation. So it may fall to you to be the first person of change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And spending that time, like you said, on your studies earlier, and working on you and
The self-mastery,
planning
yes,
forward,
yes.
gradually their perception's going to change. It's those baby steps of change, and they're easy, so you can build on them, and after a while you start seeing some change because you've gradually built on those things. Communication is something especially important right now with you. You're going to communicate with your father about options.
Yes. Oof.
You know, you might want to relieve some tension at home with better communication and trying some of those things, because the change, you can only change how you respond, and
Well,
this
that's
is
pretty
Caesar
stoic.
changing. That's another thing I wanted to bring up. I know that your beliefs are different than mine. Even I'm Christian, and I know your beliefs and values are under the Stoicism.
Mm-hmm. Stoic philosophy, yes.
Yes. And so let me ask, based on your beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
what would a Stoic view of problem solving be on this?
Well, I would say first we'd want to use the discipline of action. Our actions should benefit the greater good.
Aha.
So there's that. With all this negative talk, it's external and we can't control. So acceptance and indifference, and focus on what I can control. I don't know what I can do to really relieve the situation.
So does Stoicism address relationships?
It guides your
Conf-
actions,
Okay.
and how you should act. So that would kind of affect relations, honestly.
Just wanted to. So it mainly, Stoicism doesn't give much guidance on relationships, or
Well, it gives relationships advice on how you should be, and
this is a good area that because we're going to continue this discussion off video.
honestly,
I want to delve into that area more.
Yeah, I can't actually. I have a bit of information on Seneca's. I think it's his third letter. It's about friendship, true friendship. It does kind of talk about how you should treat a friend and what a true friend really is. So yeah, that'd be interesting to get into. Yeah.
Okay, I have some questions.
Okay.
But I've run out of time here.
Okay.
Thank you for volunteering. I do appreciate it. And